live from San Diego, California. This is the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans, by the fans. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, Jason Eidsmo, and Mike Maciejewski, we're talking Chargers, Padres, and Aztec sports. It's time to let your voice be heard.
Game Rewind.
Many long field goals in his career. 2nd and 1. Carr going deep. Looking for Butler with Ferret. And intercepted. It was picked off by the rookie. On what might be a game-saving pick by Jason Ferret. What a play! His first career interception may have sealed a San Diego win.
It's never easy, but what it's about is playing 4 quarters, sticking together, seizing the moment, and just doing it, whatever you got to do to win. Find a way to win. So that's a hell of a job from the entire football team, and a lot of guys stepped up, so hell of a job there. And hey, I've got a special game ball because really the way we've played to this point in time, okay, there are some very important people that have helped us get to where we are today. And I'll just say, James, where you at, buddy? Listen. James, Dr. Wall, all the doctors, everybody in the training room. Hey, we wouldn't have done that if we didn't do what we did all week in the training room. Hey, and a bunch of other guys got dinged up, but hey, we can't thank you guys enough. We love you guys, and you're the best, so thank you very much.
Hey, really good teams that are trying to be great win games like this. Hey, ain't nothing easy. You grow way more when you win games like this than we did last week. We got to keep going, though. We're 1-0 in the division. Charge on 3. 1, 2, 3. Charge!
Doesn't that just get you fired up?
Always.
Men.
Talk to him like men.
Yeah, I love Mike McCoy's speeches, man. The guy, ever since him and Tom Telesco took over this team, man, it's just changed the entire way of thinking. Looking at that Raiders game, for instance, that is a game we lost, the last few years. We would have lost that game.
Right.
But they've completely changed around this organization. The players are believing, and they're stepping up, and they're making the big plays. And Jason Verrett, man, what a huge play early on in his career to seal a game.
I believe he was my player of the game. I believe when we did our pregame show.
He absolutely was.
Good job.
Yeah, I worked hard at it.
Pulled a name out of a hat.
It was a tough call, Jason. It really was. But these are the games that good teams win. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Raiders, I was talking with a couple people earlier today, and the Raiders have nothing to lose. They're 0-4, right? They just fired their head coach. They have nothing to lose. They're going to come out, and they're going to give us everything they got. They're coming off a bye week. They have nothing to lose. They're going to throw that deep ball just like they did at the beginning of the game because if it gets picked off, who cares?
Right. Caution to the wind, man.
Yeah, we got the best Raiders team of the season so far. And we might have got the best Raiders team that will play this season. And, it wasn't easy, but one thing that we need to remember is division games aren't easy. It doesn't matter what the records are. We were talking pre-show. Do you guys remember when the Chargers went 1-15?
Right.
Unfortunately,
who
yes.
did we beat that one game?
The Chiefs.
We beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
A division opponent that should have beat us. We beat them in Kansas City, if I remember correctly.
Right.
A game
well, you're 40. You're a man, so
yes,
you
I
tell
remember
us.
That stuff.
You refresh our memory.
A game that we shouldn't have won that year.
Right.
And we had a terrible team that year.
Right. It's a mindset now. I really believe that.
Absolutely.
And like you touched on earlier, it's a different frame of mind with this whole organization from top to bottom with Telesco and McCoy. There's accountability. There's it's been brought to my attention every game after a win on the road. Tommy T is down there waiting for the players at the door of the locker room, congratulating a victory, saying thank you. Something you would never see A.J. Smith in a million years attempt to do. It just shows you what kind of caring organization we have now, and they really appreciate their players. They really do. The culture and like the family atmosphere we talk about. But there's just a new frame of mind, and it should be this way. It's Charger football now. This is the way Charger football is played, and McCoy does a great job of preaching that.
Absolutely. Guys, I want to invite you into the chat room. As a reminder, this week we are giving you plenty of opportunities to win the Kendall Reyes signed football.
We got Mike's. I'm looking at Mike's fishbowl, empty fishbowl margarita here. It's about half full with entries so far. Right. So, get in the chat room and contribute so we can get some more entries in there.
We need more names, guys.
Absolutely.
Lots of people are in there multiple times.
Right.
Exactly. And that's the thing is you don't have just one opportunity to win this thing. Joining in the chat room, we have 6 articles so far that you can comment on. You get an entry for every article that you comment on. If you follow us on Spreaker, you get an entry. If you become a member on our website, you get an entry. So we're going to have a couple more articles throughout this week, so comment on those and you'll get another entry. And you got 6 or 7 ways to win this thing. Yeah. So, we appreciate everything that you guys do. Without you guys, this wouldn't be as fun as it is. And so we want to do something for you guys, and we hope we can get your name in the hat.
Yeah, and we got Ender of All, who's in the chat room now, and UT Bolt fan. So they're entered with another entry here. And bettering their chances of winning. So thanks, guys, for coming on here. And
thank you, guys.
UT Bolt fan just says Tom and Mike have completely changed the organization, and I think we've talked about for some time now that we agree with that. They, especially from where we were to where we are, it's from the outhouse to the penthouse.
Exactly. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better.
Absolutely. I mean, this team is just, you just have a belief in them that they're going to go out and win against any opponent. I mean, honestly. Sure, you're nervous. Right. We've racked up some injuries, but we have some guys coming back at the same time. But, you look at every week and there's some things you have issues with, and then the game starts, and whatever issues you had completely go out the window because this team just continues to go out there and compete and just really beat down opponents.
You heard it in that clip at the end where Philip was talking. He goes, these are the kind of games that are going to help you come playoff run time. These are the kind of games that help you through the season. It's not the blowout wins like he had mentioned against the Jets. It's these division games that are really tough to win. Like you said earlier, Jason, they gave us their best shot of the year, and we took it for 4 quarters, took blow after blow. San Diego comes down the field. They get the field goal, another defensive stop. Phillip Rivers go down the field again. Brandon Oliver punches it in. You get a nice contribution from Jason Verrett. Game over. What a team effort it was Sunday.
I'm happy you mentioned team effort because another thing that I've really noticed in these wins is in the games where we've had a lot of trouble rushing the ball, the defense has picked us up and just had a fantastic game. Our defense finally they struggled a little bit for whatever reason. My personal opinion is the pass rush. We had a lack of a pass rush.
Right.
Our offense picked up the defense.
Yes.
Every time our defense gave up a score, our offense just came back down and scored again.
Right.
You know what, guys? I mean, the pass rush to me looked awesome. Hashtag said no one on
yes,
Sunday.
thank you.
Nice article.
Yeah,
I saw that.
That's another article. It's starting to be a little bit of a trend now. That's a couple of them, and it's a fun one to read. I look forward to that one.
We try to change it up, something different. I got a couple. We have some good ideas out there, and
it's better than the norm. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but definitely, the pass rush. Like I said, we made David Carr look amazing. And we really shouldn't have. So,
let's give him a little bit of credit. Although the pass rush wasn't there, so he had a chance to sit back there a little bit.
He looked very good.
Our corners, with the exception of a couple plays where they Brandon Flowers got picked on that one play, and they had another one where there's a little bit of a breakdown. He was thrown into pretty tight coverage. He just made some good throws.
Supercharged here in the chat room says, it's the grinded out wins that build your confidence.
Yeah.
I think that's so right.
It is.
Absolutely.
What confidence? What character do you build for beating a team 31-0?
Nothing.
Jets.
Right.
Excuse me, sorry.
Yes.
But it feels good. It feels good as a fan
It
still.
feels good though.
Oh, yeah, because we hate the Jets.
No, that and my heart. I don't know how much more my heart could have taken on Sunday.
Oh my God.
Especially from beginning to end.
The last 5 minutes, I'm just sitting there going, man, are we really going to maybe drop this one to the Raiders? And
I know.
In my mind, I go, this can't be happening here. And, defensive stand. We go down. Novak kicks that field goal. I go, okay, boys, we're back in it. We got 5 minutes left here. Let's get the ball back and show them what we're about. And sure enough, we did it. And it was like, it almost like you didn't want to second guess them, but you had to just a second because the old Chargers were creeping back, weren't they? The old Chargers we knew and loved are coming back to spoil the day and lose this game.
I'm happy you mentioned that. Something that we probably won't get to in the show, so maybe we'll talk about right now. I love the fact that Novak is going for a record of consecutive field goals, and he still marched him out and had him kick that 54-yarder, which he drilled. And remember, it got called back because of a holding penalty. But the fact that they're not worried about stupid records,
no,
they're
it's
not
all
worried
about the W.
streak.
It's all about the W.
They're worried about winning the game, and I really, really like the fact because I'm going, oh no, 54-yarder is not a gimme. I'm thinking, oh well, this might end the streak, but I'm thinking, who cares? Go for it. So I was happy to see that.
Really quick, one thing that I wanted to mention too was at the beginning of the game. I don't know if you guys remember the sequence of that first drive for the Raiders, but it was, I think. Short run that was like a yard or two, incomplete pass,
and then
you're thinking like,
bomb.
all right, we're defense looking right on point today.
Yes,
and bam! I mean, it was
shut us up, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure changed the mood.
Yeah. I watched the game at a friend's house who happens to be a Rams fan, and when the Rams lost Week 1, I was kind of chuckling at him a little bit on Sunday because the Chargers weren't playing that because they were playing Monday. So he's a big Rams fan. I was kind of giving him a hard time all day because the Rams were having such a hard time. He got me back on Sunday. He had a real good time at my expense, kind of chuckling, going, "What's going on with your Chargers?" Of course, the Chargers pulled it out, but
those are the best games, though. I mean, a blowout is awesome for a fan. But those nail biters that come down to the end and you kick that game-winning field goal, you get that last-second touchdown, you get the Jason Verrett interception. Those games really stand out, and like you said, Mikey, they build character. And this team's building character, and 5 wins in a row. Hopefully 6 this weekend against Kansas City. I mean, it's a snowball effect, and the confidence breeds excellence.
Winning breeds winning. It's what Marty Schottenheimer used to say all the time. Winning breeds winning, and it's true. And funny thing, I'm watching the replay of the game the other day, and I'm watching that last couple drives because it was exciting. And they put up the stat: Phillip Rivers, 20-game career winning drives. And I took a deep breath and I'm like, God, is it great to have Phillip Rivers on my team. And I had to calm down a little bit after they showed that stat. I go, 20-game winning career drives. Yeah. I go, okay, we got a good quarterback. We're going to be just fine. And sure enough, dude, the outcome was amazing. But yeah, no, it's a hard-fought win, and what a day.
And I know records don't matter, but I do have to point out that Phillip Rivers' quarterback rating for the last 5 games is 120, never done in the NFL before.
Right. Never mentioned hardly by. I haven't seen it mentioned at all. I've seen it on Twitter, and I've seen that, but I don't see anybody talking about that.
Is that because he's not Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I don't know who any of those guys are.
Or Drew Brees.
I don't know who those guys are.
Never
heard of them.
Guys with rings.
I want to bring up one thing before we go into the break, and this is the conversation that's been going on, the last couple weeks, really. It's between Matthews and Oliver. Brandon Oliver has been an absolute stud. He's been a godsend for this team. But I think a lot of people forget, what Matthews did for this team last year and the way that he carried the Chargers into the playoffs. He rushed for 473 yards over the last 4 games. He literally carried us into the postseason and had one of his best seasons. Only fumbled the ball twice. A lot of people are talking about, oh, yeah, he fumbles the ball. Yes, he's injury prone. But when this guy is healthy, he is the number 1 running back. Right. And I don't want to hear this.
Put to rest all that stuff.
When Ryan Matthews comes back, that Brandon Oliver is going to take that number 1 spot and Matthews going to take a back seat. I totally disagree.
And you guys can go to SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com and read Josh's article that he was so passionate about. But yes, I agree, Joshua. Put it to rest, guys. I mean, if you guys want to call in later after Jake comes on with us and give us a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. Because for me, if you're going to tell me that Brandon Oliver moves into the number 1 spot after 2 games, you're on crack. And what you should be thinking in your mind is this is a godsend this is great. We have two guys that are capable of getting 100 yards in one football game.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
No, and, again, you have to remember how this running game is built. It's built with, one guy pounding it, Ryan Matthews, and the other guy playing the Woodhead role, which would now be Brandon Oliver.
And he catches out of the backfield.
But, maybe Brandon Oliver becomes a third down back, even if it's third and short. So you can use him as a runner. And he's not specifically a, just pass-catching guy.
And everything falls back into place once Donald Brown gets back. He's the third running back on the team. Oliver takes the 2 spot, and you still have that Donald Brown, which he might not agree with, Mikey, because we had a little about the money. But he's still a solid back, and he can get you yardage. So you have now a 3-guy backfield that you can rely on.
So is Drawn? Are we all in agreement that Drawn will probably be?
He'll probably be
gone.
Yeah,
it's got to
be. We've only seen him run a few times. He ran pretty hard, but there's only so much room.
Geppetto in Twitterland, he said, "Speaking of running backs, is it safe to say we have a $4 million third-string running back?"
Well, I think it's a little early to determine that.
No,
right
you
now.
have a $4 million insurance policy. That's the way I think of it. Sorry. I mean, going into the playoffs, what do you have to do? You have to run the rock. Do you not?
And last year we paid because we didn't have anybody else that could.
5 yards a carry in Indianapolis.
But Mikey brings up a good point, the third down situations, short yardage situations. I think Oliver will get a lot of those opportunities because
he will.
Because of the main thing, in my opinion, is because he can sit behind the line. Right. He is hidden, so he can tend to squeeze outside.
He's short like Woodhead, which we like because he got lost, but he's got a lot more power than Danny Woodhead.
He's extremely strong on the lower half.
He'll be a good short yard.
Low man wins.
Oh, no, I was going to say, in this NFL, you don't have – it's not that clear cut where you have 1 and 2,
Right.
You're right.
Having 3, lets you move it up. Also, I just want to say, it's 2 games.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 2 games.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. It's it's under against great defenses, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. You never know injuries. You never know. Let's not go ahead and just say right away. It's Brandon Oliver's show the rest of the year.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Right.
How they scheme, how they prepare for each game, what the weakness of each team is moving forward.
Right. Excellent point, guys. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got Jake Hefner from BoltBeat.com with Jake's Take.
To stop at a red light, looking in my mirror, not a jacker in sight, and everything is alright. I got a beat from Kim, and she can fuck all night. Called up the homies, and I'm asking y'all, which part are y'all playing basketball?
Okay, you fantasy football players of San Diego, you know what time it is. It's your time on the Fantasy Corner of San Diego Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and thank you for tuning in every Wednesday to enjoy some fantasy football smack talk with myself and the rest of the Sports Junkies. Now that preseason's over, I encourage you, our valued listener, to tune in weekly for your starts and sits and my sneaky free agent pickups of each week. So throughout the week, hit me up on Twitter at FantasyCorner17, or you can email me at thefantasycorner17@gmail.com. And always stay locked in Wednesdays on the Fantasy Corner at www.SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com/fantasy. Bring it.
But they can't get me down. I'm my own self by my side, and mentally we gotta be free. I see the wickedness coming.
Do you need help with your business project that is due? Maybe you need business cards to help your business stand out. We at San Diego Sports Junkies got you covered. SK Digital Imaging can do it all. Give our buddy Sean K a call, 858-408-0732. SK Digital Imaging. From business cards to the bigger projects, SK Digital Imaging and our buddy Sean K will get your printing done right.
Be easy when we stay up. Antonio Gates hitting TDs like layups, causing chaos. Better keep him in reach. You got a body like a beast and hands like a thief. Cool as Drew Brees inside the pocket. Give me your wallet, eat your keys, I'll out cock it. Or I might cut you as good as LT. Back and forth, left to right, you'll see. A little bit of berry mixed with HR means.
What's up, guys? We are back. First of all, this is the San Diego Sports Junkies. a show for fans.
By the fans.
Oh, we forgot that.
We totally forgot that at the beginning, and can't forget our motto of all mottos.
The best motto.
Is Jake here yet?
Yeah, he's on.
Jake, what's up, Jake?
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Dude, we're doing great, man. 5 in a row. Can't be any more elated.
Nothing to complain about. Obviously, for a lot of us, it was a lot closer than what we expected. But divisional games are going to be like that. But hey, Chargers came out with a win at the end of the day. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, and John Pagano's D was a big factor in that.
Yeah, it's funny how much we were praising John's stout defense for shutting up the Jets 2 weeks ago, and then follows that up with a horrible encore performance, in my opinion. You allowed a rookie quarterback in Derek Carr to throw for 282 yards, 4 touchdowns. 3 plays into the game, Andre Holmes goes deep for 77 yards, beats coverage. You have Bryce Butler in the third quarter go deep for 47 yards. Actually, that wasn't even a deep pass. That started off as a short pass for 10 that ended up going for 47. But on the ground, even that, the Raiders ran over 100 yards. They ran for 114. It was about 5.7 yards per carry. The Chargers didn't have any sacks in this game. Coming into this game, they were tied for 7th with 12 sacks for the season. Defense looked confused at times. I think Pagano felt like he was limited in his ability in what he could do on the blitz because of certain personnel. There was no creativity. There was nothing done to knock Derek Carr off of his game. He looked like he was in complete rhythm the entire time. Other than a touch you at the end of the game, it didn't seem like the Chargers were even within 5 yards of him throughout the entire game, and it was really, really disturbing to see that lack of pass rush. You had blown coverage, and it was just a very sloppy performance from the defense overall. But I mean, you know what? The silver line to this, especially going into another divisional game against Kansas City, maybe the Chargers needed a game like this to bring themselves down to earth a little bit. You're coming off that shutout, and you feel really confident, you feel really good about yourself, but maybe you needed this game to kind of refocus yourself, know that you still have a lot of work to do. There's still a long season ahead, and there's definitely some things that John Pagano is going to be able to do this week that he wasn't able to do next week. Hopefully some things he's going to be able to fix. He's going to have a few guys back. Cordero Law and Reggie Walker are back practicing this week, which is good. But overall for the Oakland game, very disappointing performance in the defense.
Jake, this is Jason here. A couple things about the D, with the exception of those two plays that went for touchdown. Obviously, one of them, Flowers kind of got picked a little bit, and the other one, somebody dropped some coverage. It really looked like his passes were all pretty contested. It just looked like he had the absolute lack of pass rush, and he had the time to actually look and find a receiver, and he had time to get it in there without anybody in his face. I actually thought the corners played pretty well. What did you think?
You can look at it from both sides of the spectrum. I mean, like you said, aside from those 2 plays in coverage that were blown, or there was just time. I mean, there was another thing. The Chargers weren't tackling good, and whether that was in the run game or the pass game, they were missing tackles left and right. And again, I always say that the lack of the pass rush can attribute to long plays down the field, because of course, if the quarterback's got all day, the quarterbacks, the defensive backs are not going to be able to stand with those wideouts for that long. So yes, I believe that those two things go hand in hand. So the fact that there was no pressure in Derek Carr's face, that he had all day to throw, immediately attributed to that. But again, it's one thing. You look at the defense as a whole unit. You can break it down however you want. It's just you allow a rookie quarterback to do that, to put up some of the best numbers the entire season that the defense has allowed. It's just a little bit worrisome. But again, you escaped with a victory, and everybody's going to say, that's the key. That's all that matters. But you definitely think that it's something that Pagano's going to need to work on. I know the defensive players themselves were not happy with their performance. So I was actually happy that it happened now. You still weathered the storm. You've got to win. So let's just move on from it, but make sure that you're adjusting and getting more pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, learning lessons when they win is much more enjoyable than learning lessons when they lose. Now,
absolutely.
Now, Dwight Freeney, I noticed. I read an article, and I was looking for it before the show, and I couldn't find it. He played like 3/4 of the defensive snaps, and I don't think that when we came into the season we were expecting that much time of Dwight Freeney out on the field. Of course, we have some injuries. Don't you think he'd be a little bit more effective playing closer to 50% of the defensive snaps, and maybe that was part of the problem as well?
Well, sure. I mean, anybody who's out there, whether that's offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball, that's playing a good majority of the snaps, such like Dwight, 3/4 of the snaps, you're going to get tired. Every single pass rush you have, you're not going to have as much gas tank that enough in the gas tank that you had late in the third quarter as you did in the first. So time is eventually going to take its toll on you, and I know that's what the Chargers' plans were, because you were expected to have a healthy Melvin Ingram, which you had, and you just got really hit at the linebacking position over these early couple weeks. Atauchi went down early. Then you have Reggie Walker that I believe went down in the same game, and then Cordero Law was not able to play this week. And I think just with the fact that everybody's saying, well, Atauchi was in there, why didn't you throw him in there to give Freeney rest? It's a rookie handcuff, and I think that they were a little bit more cautious with Atauchi and not allowing him to play that many snaps, mainly just on third down, because he's coming off the injury and because he's still in that rookie position where, obviously like we saw the result of, it was a face mask penalty. Otherwise, the game would have been dead right there when Carr fumbles the ball. But not taking anything away from Atauchi on that play. But yes, things like this are what are attributing to Freeney getting more snaps than what are expected. And he can't do it alone out there, unfortunately. So there's going to have to be other guys, whether it's the linebacking position or the defensive ends in Kendall Reyes, who I thought was one of the few guys that actually had the bright spot of the game, or Corey Legion, that need to assist him.
Jake, this is Michael. I have a couple of questions from Twitter and chat room for you, if you don't mind taking some time to answer these before we move on to the next subject. And in Twitter, Geppetto asks, guard Gabe Jackson from the Raiders had an impressive game. He pulled very well and was able to get to the second level with ease. Were you surprised by that?
Say that one more time.
Sorry. Gabe Jackson, the guard from the Raiders, had an impressive game versus the Chargers. He pulled very well and got to the second level with ease. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I mean, the Oakland Raiders on both sides of the ball were owning the line of scrimmage. It felt like they were constantly getting pressure in Rivers' face for their run game, running over 100 yards. They were owning everybody on the Chargers' defensive line. And this is a team that on short notice brought in Menelik Watson at the right tackle position. Their main right tackle was not able to play in this game, and Menelik Watson has not been rated as a good right tackle. I was very surprised with the game that he had, and it was just it was amazing to me that they were getting owned this much from the performances that we've seen with the Chargers these last couple of weeks, especially coming off of a game with the Jets, who have one of the best offensive lines in the league. You got a lot of bigger names up there, a lot of better veterans than what is actually on Oakland's offensive line. So yeah, I was extremely surprised. He played a great game. But on both sides of the ball, whether you look at it offensively or defensively, Oakland owned that line of scrimmage.
Right. And a question here from our chat room today. We have Darren Anthony, who's a new member to our chat room. He wants to know, why do you think Keenan Allen hasn't had very many targets?
Well, that's because Malcolm Floyd. That's an easy answer. Remember, Malcolm got knocked out in the second game against Philadelphia last year, and then it turned into the Keenan Allen show. And I'll get into Floyd in just a little bit here, but that is a direct result of the Malcolm Floyd effect. And this will touch on a little bit of trust that Rivers has with Floyd. Not to take anything away from Keenan, and what he can do or what he hasn't done yet. And nobody should be, pressing the panic button on Keenan or why he's not being involved in the offense. He is also fighting a little bit of a groin injury that's kind of been nagging him the entire season. So he may not be able to run those crisp routes that he is accustomed to making all the time. And again, the way that Rivers is playing right now, it's not like he's going to force the ball into a situation where his receiver is not going to be the only person that can catch it. So the Malcolm Floyd effect is the direct result of why Keenan Allen has not put up the numbers that he has put up last year thus far.
And really quick, I want to take one more question before we move on to your next topic. UT Bolt fan here in the chat room wants to know, what do you think of the right guard situation? Do you like the rotation, or do you prefer Troutman or Watts?
It just depends. It kind of confuses me a little bit, and I didn't think that we would be at this point of the season where we're having this type of indecisive problem. I'm not sure if they're bringing Chris Watt to rotate in for Troutman, series by series, if they're doing it on one play to pass play, whoever they feel is better at the run blocking or pass blocking in either respect. Or it could just mean that they're actually in game, not in practice, but in game, trying to figure out who is the better player at the guard position. It's stuff like that I think can just cause a big miscommunication throughout the entire offensive line. So it's one of the things that still puzzles me. Again, I think that both guys have played considerably well all season long. I'm not downgrading any of them for their performances, but from a coaching aspect and for the perception of the game and the rhythm of the game with the rest of the players that you have on the field, I think at some point, and I would hope very soon, that you pick one and you stay with it. And just to have that level of continuity throughout the line is only going to help the team and the communication that much better.
I totally agree. And, just a side note before we roll ahead, Jeremy Clary is now active as far as able to start practicing. I don't think he's ready for that point, but we're not too far away from potentially having, Jeremy Clary as part of the conversation. So it'll be interesting moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, Eric Weddle, the guy is a flat-out stud. Let's not, let's make sure we put that out there. But what was he thinking on that 4th and 30 call?
The Beard's judgment was very much in contention after that.
Oh, man. The Beard was thinking for him.
Let's not forget. Let's start all the way at the beginning of the sequence. The Chargers are driving down the field. Keenan Allen goes across the middle. He catches the ball at the 11-yard line. Holding call. Bring it back 10 yards. It's now 2nd and 20. You get down there a little bit further. You get about half that back. Another holding call. Now you're in 3rd and 30. So I think you ran a draw play. Okay, so it's 4th down, but you're still within field goal range. And, of course, our stud, Nick Novak, steps up to the plate to 29 consecutive field goals that he was going for. And it's a 54-yarder, so by no means
nailed
a chip shot. And he nailed it right down the middle. It was money time all day long for Nick. And then there was a holding call. And so you back him up. Now you're out of field goal range. So on a 4th and 35, you're at the Oakland 46-yard line. And whether it was Weddle's choice or ultimately McCoy's choice, Weddle says that he saw Seyi Ejiro-Tutu on the outside in one-on-one coverage and believes that he, of all people, could make a pass 35 yards in order to get a 1st down and convert off of a 4th down play. Even just saying that does not make sense to me. I don't understand when you're at that point. And in a lot of ways, it kind of shows a little bit of mistrust in your defense because you're at the Oakland 46. You have ciphers who can put them within their own 10-yard line, and you have to give your defense an opportunity, first opportunity of the half, to stop them. But no, what happens? You give Oakland the ball back basically at midfield, and 3 plays later they go up 21-14. Did not at all understand that entire sequence. It was a bad sequence of holding calls and ultimately culminated in that bad play by Eric Weddle. If you're planning on using, showing the world what your fake punt looked like, that was a bad time to do it. Just judgment all around, whether it was Weddle or McCoy, I thought was just extremely bad.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, as far as, okay, so Weddle, going back to what you said, no confidence in the defense, Weddle's arguably your defensive leader, so the fact that, he was the one that made this call and made this play, obviously it was a boneheaded mistake, and if you saw the, his interview after the game, he totally, took...
Hey, at least he owned up to it.
He totally owned up to it.
I fucked up, and I'm sorry, guys, basically.
He totally owned up to it, and, If he was to make a call like that, I wouldn't second guess him because
he did it last year.
9 times out of 10, he's going to make the right call.
Right. Well, now he's 50% on those calls. So the next one better be the right one because he doesn't need to be below 50%.
So let's stay on the defensive side of the ball, Jake. And obviously, rookie Jason Verrett makes the play of his short life in the NFL and his first interception that clinches the game. What a great feeling that was. To clinch a game late like that, a divisional matchup, on a defense. I mean, the defense hasn't been playing well all day, and Jason to go up, one-on-one and come down with that ball with the fist pump in the air. What a great feeling that was.
Yeah, that was a storybook ending for Jason Verrett in that game. Plays like that are why guys get into the NFL, for those type of glory moments that can really just last as long as you want to make them, because that is one that was a game-saving play. And the defense all day could not make a play on Derek Carr. And it was literally a shootout between Derek Carr and Phillip Rivers, and it was really going to come down to which team was going to make the big mistake that was waiting to happen all game long. And ultimately, Derek Carr made the mistake on his throw. Jason Verrett had beautiful coverage downfield. He out-leaped a 6'3" wide receiver. Everybody says that this guy is exclusively a slot corner. There's no way that he can play the outside whatsoever when he's drafted. And he's 5'9", and he out-leaped a 6'3" wide receiver to go up there and grab that ball and come down and have the wherewithal to keep 2 feet in bounds. It was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful interception. And the cherry on top of everything is that his brother Trey works for the Oakland Raiders, and his brother Trey predicted that Jason was going to have an interception in the Oakland game. So the stars just aligned for Jason in that game, and doing it on that play when your defense needs a stop more than ever. It was just an absolutely beautiful thing to happen for him.
Yeah, no, you stole my thunder there. Being from Oakland, the family, his brother working there, so ironic, right? He's donning the lightning bolt, and his family's over there. Gosh darn you, For me, Jake, going forward, first career pick in a big game. Ironically, a couple plays prior to that, you touched on earlier, Tauchu, another rookie, had a chance to thank you. Tauchu had a chance to be the rookie that sealed the game for us. Unfortunately, he didn't. So the next rookie steps up. And like you said, what a play. Going forward now, how much does this boost Jason Verrett's confidence? Now being a guy that is going to be looked upon as a number 1/2 corner on this team to cover one of the better wideouts on the opposing team. So, I mean, for me, the sky's the limit here. But what do you see going forward for this guy? Is he going to take more chances, you think? And is he just going to build off this?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. Obviously, hopefully, as fans, we would hope that, first tackle, just make sure that that's what you need to do first.
Right.
Don't start taking too many chances to where you're playing the ball, not the man, and going for the interception rather than, going for the player. But in anything, like you said, it has to boost his confidence moving forward. No question about it. I think, not to say that Jason's confidence was anywhere near ground zero before this happened, because he's a very confident player. He plays with a lot of physicality, plays with a lot of confidence. He knows exactly what it is that he's trying to do out there every single game. And we've touched on this throughout the year. learning behind a guy like Brandon Flowers and learning behind a guy like Sharice Wright and having these veterans come in and teach you and learning from them and their mistakes and what they've done wrong and showing you the right way to do it. Jason just has hit the ground running ever since he set foot on the field. And we saw it the first game of the season against Arizona. He was beautiful in coverage.
Right.
Absolutely fantastic. He was fast. He had a nose for the ball and a nose for making the play, and that's just continuing. And again, I think the confidence actually arises in John Pagano to what he can now do with Jason Verrett out there on the field and allow him to be in that type of rotation. So now when you see Sharice Wright come back to the field this week, you may see a lot of more formations where Jason's moving out of the slot and maybe going wide. So if the confidence is boosting in anybody, I think it's actually John Pagano in the way that he can use Jason Verrett and trust him more moving forward.
Yeah, keeping the trend going, Brandon Oliver had another solid day for the Bolts. 101 yards, another touchdown. He was blowing Raider defenders, throwing them out of the way, fighting for extra yards again. What did you think of his performance?
Well, most people say that when a sequel comes out to a movie that the original is always better than the sequel. But I got to say, I don't know if it was better than the original, but that was a hell of a sequel performance by Brandon Oliver. You really can't do much better than that. Just you love to root for the little guy, but he went for 26 rushes for 101 and a touchdown. I guess I hear the stat that if he goes for over 100 yards this week, he could be the first rookie since Don Woods to rush for 100 yards in 3 consecutive games since 1974. Not even our great LT did that, which is amazing that did not happen.
I think Jason's the only one that would know that. Because he's 40-ish. He's a man.
I'm the only one who was around back then.
I don't think any of us were, but Brandon Oliver has just been such a spark to this offense. And I know we started that whole trend with Spolbert and getting that hashtag going. What people are comparing him to as far as the way he runs. He is physical. Do not let his size diminish what he can do when he has the ball. I mean, he was trucking Oakland defenders. There were 2 or 3 on him at a time, and he is still able to move the pile. I mean, it's unbelievable for as elusive as this guy is, securing the football and, being physical and moving the pile. That's what you want from a running back, but you're also getting all of these diverse talents, whether it's vision, quickness, and strength, all into one guy. And it's just been such a welcoming addition to the Chargers offense, especially when 2 weeks ago you had to do something to revamp the running game and enter Brandon Oliver, and he's done it now for 2 consecutive weeks. Not only that, you put enough trust in him in game-winning drive against Oakland that you just say, we're going to give the ball to you, run it down their throats, and let's win this game. And he caps it off with an LT-like jump over the goal line. I mean, it was perfect. Let's ride the Brandon Oliver train until it can't roll no more. I mean, let's just keep feeding this guy the ball. Brandon had just, again, I can't say enough about Brandon, and I'm sure the fans, have just come to embrace him and love him so much for what he's doing. But he is a playmaker. No doubt about it. He can play in this league, and he is for real.
Yeah, I remember watching the game thinking, I think he had 25 carries for 100 yards, and he's 1 yard away for the touchdown. I'm like, he's going to rush for under 4 yards a carry because that average is going to go down. But, think about this, just the whole conversation on Twitter this week, and I know local media has put this out. And I want you to just dispel everything. And, what you say, Jake, is word, and we're going to go with it. When Ryan Matthews gets back, what is Brandon Oliver starting?
No. No,
okay.
he's not.
That was a great analysis.
Perfect. All right, good night now. Amen. That's all I needed to hear.
Simple answer.
That's all we needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Everybody just stop saying that.
We're so tired of everybody saying, Matthews is going to be on the bench.
I mean, the more you think about it, in this league...
I'm with you guys. I've heard it too. I don't understand it. You're talking about a guy who's now going into his 5th year. Yes, we all know about the durability issues and the fumbling problems and whatnot, but let's not forget what this guy did last year for the team. If we don't have Ryan Matthews healthy for this team last year, we're lucky if we even win 8 games out of the year last year. Lucky if we make that. And again, if you have Matthews starting and you can use Oliver in a more complementary type of role, which he's already proven that he can work both in the running game and the pass game, it's just like having another Danny Woodhead back there. Your offense immediately becomes more diverse because the defense, who is ever facing the Chargers, has to prepare for 2 different running backs and not just one, and in different type of formations because Oliver can run. But if you're in a 3rd down situation where he's on the field and Ryan Matthews is on the field, what are you going to do? So you have to have an interchangeable rotation of running backs, just like the Chargers were originally going to have when it was Matthews, Woodhead, and Donald Brown. They like that versatility. They want to use that to confuse defenses. And again, Matthews coming back is only a positive. He is not losing his starting job to Brandon Oliver. And the offense is only going to thrive by involving Matthews in the game more.
Yeah, and, we all know, most of us know that when you ride a guy too much, he only has so much tread on his tires. So, how old is Oliver? I'm not sure, 21, 22, 23. If the way I feel people want to use him is as an every down back for the whole season and, sit right. That's the feeling I get from people. Sit them down, everybody shaking their head around me here. But, like I said, you just can't put too much wear on this kid. He's 5'7", 5'8", 5'9",
5'6",
5'6", whatever, even shorter.
Perfect height.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's the people are jumping to an extreme, saying, let's ride Oliver all the way to the end, and you just can't do that to a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing Brandon Oliver to a similar situation. What's going on with Dallas with DeMarco Murray? Talk about running a guy into the ground until he's practically dead. But again, the silver lining is that offense is not what it is right now, and their record is not what it is right now, unless they have DeMarco Murray running it the way that he's running it.
Oh,
so
yeah, totally agree.
You have to take it from both sides of the spectrum. The Chargers might not be 5-1 right now if it's not for Brandon Oliver's performance last week. They might be 4-2 in that regard. So you have to look at it from both sides of the spectrum. Again, I don't think that Mike McCoy is the type of head coach that's going to do that to a running back, which is why that you want your veteran to rotate with your undrafted rookie and save both of them. And whether that's from exhaustion or from injuries, that's what you're going to have to do and that's more of a reason why you need that rotation between the two of them.
I totally agree. I think as the season goes on, running back by committee is going to be the way of this offense. And it's, been proven over the last couple years in this league. Obviously DeMarco Murray type running back is nice, but the running back by committee and fresh legs is going to make your team better in the long haul. We have a quick question from @Geppetto. He wants to know if Flowers is out against Kansas City, which, he was on the practice field today stretching. He wasn't actually practicing, but he was on the field stretching today. So to allude to his question, Wright comes back. Who is the number 1 quarterback on Sunday?
It's Sharice Wright. It's Sharice Wright. It still is. Again, this is a team that looks at veteran type of mentality. So you're going to have Sharice because he's already had 4 years of covering Dwayne Bowe in the division. You're still going to put him out there. The Chiefs are not going to have Donnie Avery, their normal number 2, out there for this game. So you're going to put Jason on the secondary wide receiver. Again,
I don't know if I want to put Jason on the secondary receiver. Have you seen the guy?
Not our Jason.
Oh, okay. All right, back on topic.
Not discrediting what the wide receivers are going to do, but and I'll get into this as we finish up, but the Chargers are going to have to be more concerned about Travis Khalif because I think that's going to be, as far as the passing game goes, where the defensive backs and the linebackers are really going to have to worry about. But Sharice Wright has the more experience. He's going to cover the bigger wide receivers that he is familiar with. and he'll step right back into his role as the number one.
Absolutely. Now, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but maybe we should get back to it. How much different is our offense when Malcolm Floyd is on the field? How much does he mean to the offense of the San Diego Chargers?
You really can't understate what Floyd has done for this team, and it really is amazing, just because you have an offense that just has another dimension to it that it did not have the luxury of last year, because it didn't have its deep threat wide receiver. And when you add in that element to stretch the field, it just opens up a whole bunch of possibilities for your offense, and whether that's running the ball or it's your slot receivers that can come through the middle because the defenders are not covering for short passes. As Floyd has meant so much to this team since he's been a part of it since 2004, it can't be more understated than right now what he means to this team and what he means specifically to Phillip Rivers. And on top of all that, it's just such a great comeback story for him, for the way that he was knocked out. We all thought that his playing career was in real danger for as long as he had the neck brace on. There was a lot of time where we just didn't hear anything of what was going to happen, but he's come back. And not only has he come back, he's come back with a vengeance. I mean, he had 5 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown this last week. But the catches that he is making, and he's done them for years, but it just doesn't seem that we get tired of it, and we just keep saying, wow, to every single catch that he's making out there. The one where he was defended, pass interference was called, but literally he had the guy's arm in his face through his 2 hands, and he still came down with it. I believe it was a 44-yard pass. It was an unbelievable catch. What he can do to stretch a defense and to make the impossible look easy when it comes to catching the ball is just nothing short of amazing. And the great stat that was put out, I believe it was on either Monday or Tuesday, the last 44 third down catches that he's had has gone for either a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Big plays.
That is an unbelievable stat. And I believe he also came into the game in Oakland. I think he was leading all receivers by average catch yards. I think it was about 18 or something, but he upped it, I think, this week to, I think it was about 20.6. So having those type of stats behind you and the reputation of what you've already done for the team and the trust that you have with your quarterback to say, I'm going to just throw you the ball, go get it. And when you could do it that far down the field and blow the lid off of defenses and make those type of big plays, there's nothing that can be said for how much of a value that is to a team, and specifically the Chargers, for what they had to resort to last year, with putting the game on Ryan Matthews' shoulders and grinding it downfield in a time-conserving manner. So now having Floyd back and doing what he is doing allows that option for the big play and just giving a different facet to the offense.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk week in, week out. There's so many weapons on this offensive team. I mean, every week it could be a different person. From a fantasy standpoint, it's really hard to really choose one of these players to be on your fantasy roster because they spread the ball around so well between the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends. I mean, everybody, it seems like a different week. You have, a huge standout on this offense. And it's a great thing because it makes it really hard for the opposing defenses to put a scheme together to try to stop you, because who are they going to stop? Sure, they're going to double team Gates. Well, guess what? You have like 5 other weapons that just opened up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunately I was the one guy on my fantasy team that had the one wide receiver that did not score a touchdown last week. So I was pretty bummed. You got Gates, you got Royal, you got Floyd, and then I'm waiting for Keenan Allen, and that just didn't happen for me, and I ended up losing. But that's neither here nor there. But yes, like we've always said, who is it that you're going to cover? Who are you going to do it? It doesn't matter if you're going to double-team Malcolm Floyd on a deep route. You're going to leave Gates or Green in one-on-one coverage. That's already a mismatch. Keenan Allen alone on one-on-one coverage because of his route running is a mismatch for a defensive back. And, oh yeah, we have two running backs out of the backfield that can catch the ball and run the ball. What are you going to do? It's like Pandora's box trying to figure it out. You can't do it. So, again, having just – you never say really that one guy excuse me, can make an offense, other than the fact that Phillip Rivers is just playing out of his mind right now. But changing an offense, the way that Floyd is done, again, I can't understate this enough, for what he's able to open up and give ability to the other players that are around him, it's just flat out amazing what the offense is transformed into in just one season, and having one guy back there for the offense.
Jake, as always, your plethora of information that you provide us is excellent. But it comes to the tough part of the show, man. We got to have your prediction each and every week. So, what do you think it's going to be? Obviously, the Chargers are on a roll. They do have some injuries. They're playing another divisional opponent, Casey, who is arguably a notch above the Raiders. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that. But you're at home. So, what do you think your prediction is going to be for this game, and who is your standout?
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very tough, very competitive game. We were always kind of looking towards the back end of the schedule as far as the last 5 teams that we go up against. But until 2 weeks ago, I didn't realize it until now that you get Oakland coming off of a bye, and then you get Kansas City coming off of a bye in consecutive weeks. Andy Reid, whose record with a bye week after it is 11-2, so he knows how to win after a bye week. Then after this, you go on a short week, go to Denver to play the game that everybody's been waiting to play. So these 3 games, while divisional, schedule-wise, is horrible for the Chargers, and whether it's at home or away, because your teams are either coming off of a bye with extra rest, or you have to travel to the opposing team's house. So just from that standpoint alone, it's difficult. But the Chargers are going to be the healthiest that they have been in weeks. You're going to need every single weapon that you're going to be able to get pressure on Alex Smith. The Chiefs also, last 6 games at Qualcomm, they are 0-6. You know that, especially since they've kind of been making this run, they're not out of the division race by any stretch of the imagination. Let's not forget that. So this is a big, big game for them as well. They know what happened to them at the end of the season last year that allowed the Chargers to get in the playoffs. They don't like that. They want to come in here and smash the Chargers right in the face, derail the Phillip Rivers train, and get them off the top of the podium of the division. But that being said, I think the Oakland game was a perfect truth serum for the Chargers. Bring them back down to earth a little bit, have them refocus. They know exactly the fact that there is a better team coming into their house this week, and they need to defend home turf. I think having the Cordero Laws and the Reggie Walkers back in the defense is going to be huge. You have to stop Jamal Charles, have to contain him. You cannot let the running game for Kansas City go, or else Alex Smith is going to be able to beat you with their but their rookie standout tight end, Travis Kelce. So you're going to have to stop them early, get out to a fast lead, much like you did last week, going blow for blow with Oakland. You're going to have to start fast, and you're going to have to take that running game aspect away from Kansas City. So, with all that being said, the train keeps rolling. The Chargers will be 6-1 after this week, and the Chargers will defeat the Kansas City Chiefs 24-20.
24-20.
24-20.
Nice.
It's hard to disagree that it's going to be a close score.
Yeah, the divisional games are always close. Who's your standout for the Chargers?
Who's the standout player for this game? Like we were saying before, it's so difficult to predict because it's just one guy after another this week. But, I'm going to have to say it's either going to be Antonio Gates or Ladarius Green, because Kansas City's defensive backs have a very, very tough time covering the tight ends, especially when it's in the red zone. So I'm going to predict that it's going to be one of their shows. come Sunday.
All right, man. You heard it from Jake Hefner from BoltBeat.com. Jake, as always, we want to thank you for joining in on the show. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about that Chiefs game and dive into a little more of what Jake was talking about and stopping Jamal Charles. So, Jake, as always, thank you for joining the show, and we'll look forward to your take on this Chiefs game a week from now.
Always enjoy coming on with you guys. Again, it's a pleasure and an honor to join you each and every week. Had fun today, and looking forward to next week when we're talking about a win.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks a lot, Jake.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, so stick around. We also have some Aztec football tickets to be given away just around the corner, so get your brain ready because you're going to have to answer a question in order to get them.
With your business project that is due, maybe you need business cards to help your business stand out. We at San Diego Sports Junkies got you covered. SK Digital Imaging can do it all. Give our buddy Sean K a call, 858-408-0732. SK Digital Imaging, from business cards to the bigger projects, SK Digital Imaging and our buddy Sean K will get your printing done right.
Are you looking for a bar for your next sporting event? Come to Cali Comfort Sports Bar in the heart of Spring Valley, where they are passionate about sticking to the true barbecue traditions. Using their unique low and slow method, you are guaranteed great barbecue no matter what you order. From pulled pork to tri-tip, football to MMA, Cali Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your sports and barbecue needs. Find them online, CaliComfortSD.com. All right, guys, you are back with the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans.
By the fans.
And it's time to talk about the Kansas City Queefs.
Oh, wow, dropping the Queefs on us.
The Chiefs coming into Qualcomm Stadium, they are 0-6 in their last 6 games at the Q. Can the Chargers keep the ball rolling and make them 0-7, guys? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to invite everybody out there to join us on Sunday, because between 9 and 10, we're going to really get in depth and do our pre-show, Chargers versus the Chiefs, and that's when we'll be giving our predictions, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into the actual game. We're just going to maybe give you a little bit of a taste of it today.
And if you guys haven't checked out the pregame shows yet, we do one every Sunday morning from 9 to 10. Depending on the game, I guess we'll have to switch it up on Thursday.
Yeah.
When the Denver game comes.
Right.
We can maybe do it after we get off work. I'm not sure how we're going to set that one up. But, it's going to be Sunday mornings, guys, 9 to 10.
As you can tell, we're not super organized.
No, not yet. But we are providing that pregame enjoyment for everybody. So last week we had Karen Kay on from a local affiliate up in Anaheim. She was a fantastic guest, and we enjoyed having her on. So, check us out every morning, Sunday morning, 9 to 10 a.m.
So, anyways, Chargers against the Chiefs.
Right.
Sorry,
got it. Yeah.
Sorry, just Josh here with this misspelling. Instead of putting Portland,
I'm welcome Portland to the chat room, and I put Potland.
Smoking that green, smoking the utter.
It's not. Is pot legal up there? By the way, I know it is in Colorado.
I don't know. I'm sure he'll let us know.
He'll let us know in a minute.
Let us know in a minute or two. In the chat room.
Maybe it really is pot legal.
It's a little bit north in Washington.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
But
so the Chiefs, guys.
All right.
Chiefs.
I don't know. Looking into this game, for me personally, there's a lot of concern. Look at the Raider game moving forward. We're getting a little healthier, so that's going to help. I've been a firm believer that your team's going to suffer with injuries no matter what. I mean, the guys that were starters for a reason.
Right.
So I'm hoping that now that they're getting healthier, we're going to see a better effort. The defense definitely needs to create some pressure. But my biggest concern is stopping Jamal Charles. And as someone in the chat room said it, But you stop Jamal Charles, you can pretty much stop the Kansas City offense.
Yeah, they're tough, man. The run game, I think they rank in the top 5 in rushing. So you really got to be conscientious of that going in. And like you said earlier, getting healthier is a big key for this team. But the good thing is the guys that are backing up are playing at a high level right now. So we get our starters back eventually. We'll have these guys backing them up, maybe giving them a blow here and there. Give them some rest. They'll be in fresh, and they'll know what to do. And it's a downward effect. Everybody has a job on this team, and I think, like Mikey said, the first thing against the Chiefs we need to do is stop the run.
Right, and we had a lot of success with that with Jamal Charles last season. This season, our run defense has been hit and miss. You know, it's been good sometimes. It's looked bad
been
sometimes.
A little flaky.
Right. It's a division game.
Right.
Division games are tough. You know, we're going to say that every game, every division game this year. I got to think that the Chargers are going to step it up, though. I think that they're going to play better than they played against the Raiders. I think that, as the Raider game was a lot closer than we all think, I think they were actually small mistakes is what caused that game to be close. It wasn't. Well, I don't think the mistakes were as big as we all think.
And look at how close we were, when you say small, inches away from like 3 turnovers in that game.
Right.
I mean, 2 interceptions that like literally fingertipped off of our defenders.
Right.
I mean, we were so close to making those turnovers, which would obviously give the ball back to the offense, and it wouldn't even have been a game. And actually, now that I say it, aside from the pick at the end of the game, we didn't have a turnover the whole game.
No.
The Jared Johnson one, man, he should have had that. I was so upset about that. Not to relive the game. I just when it went off his finger, I'm like, how did you not catch that, man?
It's a tough catch, but
it's tough.
We've come to expect our defenders not to catch the ball. That's the problem.
Geppetto in the chat room says his biggest concern is Ornberger versus Poe and that KC front. We will see more Ronnie Brown in the backfield offering pass protection.
I agree. I thought Ronnie actually came in and played really well in pass protection. I was really happy with what I saw. And like I said, we got a little bit out of him. I think he made a third and run, first down run. He caught a short pass, but we're not going to see anything dynamic from him offensively. But we're going to see a lot of little things that he does, a lot of little things that he brings to the table.
Not to get off topic, but Tony Rowe in the chat room goes, "I'm pretty sure the fake punt was a huge mistake." You know what, Tony? Yeah. We're pretty sure it was too.
Yeah, we're pretty sure it was.
And I'm sure Weddle at the end of the game was kind of kicking himself.
You know,
he might have been smoking the reefer before he went on the field that game.
Up in Potland.
Hashtag
which, by the way, it's not legal in Portland.
No, he says it's a 30-minute drive across the river.
He does know exactly how far away it is.
Yes.
30 minutes to get to Potland.
You know, one of the things that have been an issue, and I'm just going to talk general Chargers here. I always mix those up. Ryan Matthews. Now we got Ryan Matthews, Donald Brown, and Manti Te'o are all taking up spots on this roster, and none of them are able to play. Manti Te'o is pretty much. It was the first game he got hurt.
No, it was like this third game.
I don't think it was the third.
Yeah, because we were going into the third game, I think, he was the leading tackler on the team.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think you would have said he's a leading tackler after one game.
Right.
So I think it was around the third game he went out.
He's taken up a roster spot, and we have heard nothing about him. Yeah, and Ingram. Well, Ingram at least is on the designated to return a list.
My guess is we're going to see Te'o and Matthews after the bye week going into the Raider game here in San Diego. I think that's what they're holding off for.
Yeah.
I mean, because we do have enough depth to fill that role,
yes,
for the next 3 games.
Yeah, we're not overly concerned.
Why rush it, And that's what I'm kind of concerned with Flowers. I want Flowers to play in this game. No question. I think he makes our defense that much better. But if we're only going to get him one game and he's going to hurt that growing even more, and we're going to miss him for a good chunk of the year, if not the whole season, screw that. Yeah. I want him to heal 100% before he's on that field.
I agree.
I think a big issue too is the quick turnaround for next week. You have Denver.
Thursday night in Denver.
Boy, the scheduling gods weren't very kind to the Chargers this year, were they?
Take two teams off buys and then on a short week.
On a short week.
That's what Jake's point was, the fact that we kind of got screwed a little bit here.
But I do have some in the chat room came up was who was active on Sunday was Dontrell Inman.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
did he play?
He was in there. Okay. I mentioned that. Yeah, I mentioned that in the forum.
Okay.
And I remember preseason, I'm watching because preseason we did this game. We said plus or minus 10 catches, And I said minus, and I think all of you guys thought that he was going to get more than 10 catches this year.
I still think he will.
I'm hoping to be wrong. I'm hoping to be wrong.
I still think he will.
I keep wanting to see him get out there and catch like 4 or 5 balls, because then I was going to tell you guys, oh, you only got 5 to go.
Oh,
you know.
I got to bring up the chat room right now. SoCal Trav says that he's doing Manti Te'o's girlfriend right now while he's in there.
Nice. SoCal Trav.
Hey.
The funny
treat Lene Kukua like that.
The funny coincidence is we are too.
Hey, she's actually on the show.
Lene Kukua is calling in about 5 minutes.
Yes. So I'm just curious. You know, you have your inactives every week, and they're usually guys that maybe aren't quite ready, or guys that for whatever reason. The Chargers inactives the last few weeks have all been injured and can't play. Not only that, they've had guys that are active that are injured and can't play.
Yeah, well,
we're running out of room on this roster.
Well, Tony Rowe makes a great point. Teo is he's in on every tackle. Not to mention that he is. Hold on, what does it say here?
Not to mention the amount of imaginary vag that dude gets. Amazing.
Wow. Attaboy.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw somebody. I don't know who said that Teo was a bust. I think that was SoCal Trav.
Yeah. It was.
Which I
ignored it.
I love SoCal Trav's. I love his contributions.
I love his contributions.
I disagree.
I disagree with SoCal Trav on that too.
I think that it's way too early to call a second-round draft pick from last season a bust.
Right.
I certainly think that his injuries have held him back.
He does need to get on the field.
But he needs to get on the field, and he needs to start playing. And what I saw this year from him was very encouraging.
It was.
Absolutely.
Before he got hurt, he was actually playing at a very high level.
The problem is if he can't stay on the field, what good is that going to do? We already saw this movie. It was the Larry English movie.
Show, yeah.
So we just got to get these guys healthy. We got to get these guys healthy. We got to get Melvin Ingram back because we need to get Dwight Freeney on the sidelines a little bit more. He's playing too much. He's playing way more than we had thought that he was going to play.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and reason being, we got our show on Sunday morning, which we'll talk a little bit more about this Kansas City Chiefs game. But, Aztec season is heating up, and we got some Aztec football tickets to give away. So why don't you hang around, and let's talk some Aztecs football and basketball, and get you guys some Aztec tickets for this game against Hawaii.
Okay, you fantasy football players of San Diego, you know what time it is. It's your time on the Fantasy Corner of San Diego Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and thank you for tuning in every Wednesday to enjoy some fantasy football smack talk with myself and the rest of the Sports Junkies. Now that preseason's over, I encourage you, our valued listener, to tune in weekly for your starts and sits and my sneaky free agent pickups of each week. So throughout the week, hit me up on Twitter at FantasyCorner17, or you can email me at thefantasycorner17@gmail.com. And always stay locked in Wednesdays on the Fantasy Corner at www.SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com/fantasy. Bring it.
But they can't get me down. Got my own self by my side, and mentally we gotta be free.
Do you need help with your business project that is due? Maybe you need business cards to help your business stand out. We at San Diego Sports Junkies got you covered. SK Digital Imaging can do it all. Give our buddy Sean K a call, 858-408-0732. SK Digital Imaging. From business cards to the bigger projects, SK Digital Imaging and our buddy Sean K will get your printing done right.
Take what I'm owed like Debo. Guido, we know. In the building shooting free throws. And the show don't wear no street clothes. Getting buckets, I'ma need those home court heroes. Show so mean, no fans so clean. Chant like fiends. Okay, I'm so handsome on the beat. Band mode, Ryan Ransom on the beat. Coach told me, tradition never graduate. Over here eating, you boys don't even gotta play. Nah.
Oh yeah, here we are. We're back. Thanks for joining us, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Actually,
Aztec Nation, what's up?
That's right.
Aztec Nation.
You know,
coming close.
Yeah, man. Just let it hit, man.
We could let this flow a minute here. man, it's just you get the goosebumps rolling.
Yeah.
You already got Aztec football going full swing.
Like I'm Aztec gear on.
I'm gonna start digging the jerseys.
Yeah.
I got my Jay Frank at home. I got to bring it.
Really quick. Let's start off with. Well, some people have been waiting for all show long. We're giving away 3 Aztec tickets.
Nice.
Actually, 3 Plaza level tickets.
Ooh, even better.
Nice for this.
I might just take those.
Saturday's game against Hawaii here at the Q. Game starts 7:30. So here is the trivia question.
Now, how are we going to judge it? The first person to tweet it or to chat in the chat room or to tweet it to us?
First person to tweet it or put in the chat room to us gets the tickets. Make sure you tag at San Diego Sports Junkies. If you want to put the hashtag Mike is good looking, that will help you. that will help expedite.
That will be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And then if you come back with a hashtag big load, you'll get even better seats.
A free upgrade.
So here it is. The trivia question for the tickets is in Sunday's Chargers Raiders game.
Right.
What former San Diego State player got a touchdown? Caught a touchdown.
So first one to answer it in the chat room gets the Hawaii
or Twitter
Aztec tickets.
So moving on, the Aztecs play again against Hawaii this week. The Aztecs are 3-3. Hawaii is 2-4. Right now, it's been the Donald Pumphrey show. This week he was named.
That guy's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, he's all right.
Dude, he carries a big load.
That's a big load.
He was.
We got a number answer. Do you have to say the name or do you have to say a number?
You have to say the name.
I think we're looking for the name.
Yeah. Looking for the name.
And we'll shout out the winner before we go on the next break.
Right.
But Donald Pumphrey. If you don't know who he is,
you better look him up. You better ask somebody.
You better ask somebody. A 5'9".
Las Vegas product.
Yeah, he was named the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Month. Second award in 3 weeks.
Well deserved.
He racked up 246 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 20 attempts, including a 93-yard touchdown run.
93 yards.
Dude, that was a badass run.
On an offense that couldn't throw the goddamn ball.
Isn't that how many yards is that in 3 games span for him? I can't tell you offhand, but it's got to be almost 700 yards. This guy's been going off every single week. We got a winner.
We'll get to that right now. Yeah,
wait. Okay, I guess that's correct.
Yeah, it is.
But it's backwards.
That's right. We got a winner.
He forgot the comma.
But
let's keep going.
So anyway, sorry, as we were saying, he's got 6 touchdowns the last 2 games, about 400 yards.
Oof.
San Diego State, man, the football team's, making strides. They should have won last week. Injuries really hurt them. But, we talk a lot about, realignment in football, and San Diego State's one of the have-nots.
Yeah.
They need to definitely step up. And this is our opportunity. This Mountain West is weak this year. This is their chance to gain ground and move forward. So,
ever since Quinn Kaler went down, it's been tough sledding for the Aztecs this season. I was very disappointed with the Oregon State game 4 weeks back. A lot of games this year. I'm going, guys. Every other game's been okay, kind of close. The game that kind of disappointed me was the Fresno State game. Really upset me. It just you throw the rookie, true freshman in there. And you got what you pretty much pay for. You have a true freshman in there, so he made some bad decisions. The only bright spot really is you got some key guys on defense that are making plays still, and you have Donnell Pumphrey. And I think you got Chase Price, he's really doing a fantastic job as a backup.
Really good too, being forgotten because of Pumphrey.
Okay, yeah, of course. And I think in one game, I can't remember the game. I'm drawing a blank here, but both of them had Pumphrey had over 200 yards and Chase Price had over 100 yards. So combo wise. This combo has been great this season, and it's going to be nice to see Ezel Ruffin back healthy.
Yeah, is he coming back this year?
He should be back this week, hopefully.
They really miss him.
This week, or they have a bye again because there's 2 byes in college, so the bye is next week for the Aztecs, so he might be out. And actually, the game you were alluding to, Justin, was last week.
Okay, was it last week's game? I wasn't sure if it was the game prior, but I knew they both went off in a game. But yes, the rushing attack was there. It's been there all season, but it's the inconsistent play at quarterback, and we know that. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, a lot to look forward to
Yes.
in Aztec Land. A lot of talent sitting out this year, redshirting because of transfers.
Yes.
So, next year
should be fun.
Should be really
next
good.
couple years. The thing I don't like is a lot of people are like, oh, well, this team sucks and this and that. You got to understand that this isn't like basketball. Football is harder to replenish your stock each and every season. You got to remember that. Rocky Long's doing a very good job at State. I believe that. I think there's a lot of haters out there who do not like him.
Yeah.
And I understand. I understand that their case for it. But for me, he's a good coach. What do you expect out of San Diego State? You expect them to be in the BCS Final Four? No. I think people going to 5 straight bowl games, there's an expectation here, but you gotta kind of pump your brakes a little bit, like pump it up. Get it? Haha.
Exactly.
No. So you got to pump them a little bit because the inconsistent play at quarterback, when you don't have that guy under the center every week, Quinn Kaler's a veteran. Yeah. You switch to this true freshman, you're going to lose games. It's just all there is to it in college football.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of people hating on Rocky, hating on the program, but from where it was and where it's, moving towards.
It's
positive steps. I mean, we've made 4 straight bowl games. We're looking at a 5th one right here.
Yes.
And people are complaining because we're not taking the next step.
Yeah.
Next year, if we don't take that next step with all the talent that's coming in with a lot of transfers.
I agree.
Then you
cause
start
for
complaining.
concern.
Yeah,
yes.
then there's cause for concern.
This isn't a Steve Fisher type of situation, where this is Steve Fisher going on 10 years of excellence.
Yeah.
Rocky Long hasn't had that time to build that kind of team. So you got to give him a little more time.
And here in the chat room, Portland Bolt fan says
they can
probably get Brady Hoke
back.
But
I don't like that he doesn't wear a headset. Even we wear headsets.
Here's my and we're poor.
Yeah, we're poor, yeah.
Here's my question, though. Had Brady Hoke stayed, do you think that our program would be farther along than it is now?
I do. I believe that.
What do you think, Mikey?
You know what? I tended to think that, but just seeing how poorly he's managed the pressure at Michigan, if the program had grown, because he came from Ball State where he had a lot of success and got them nationally ranked, if the program had grown, he may start losing control.
Right.
And that's my concern, but who knows?
I think there are coaches that are able to handle the big time, and there's coaches that are fit perfectly for teams like San Diego State and Ball State.
Right.
My point there took Ball State to a top 25 ranking. Right. A little Ball State hashtag ball. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's people that are conformed for that, and he did a great job at State, and then he shot up like a kangaroo, and he got that Michigan Big Blue University offer, and he got out of there. So I mean, it is what it is, guys. I mean, I'm not going to get pissed off. I think Brady Hoke would have been great here if he would have stayed.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, you just never know. It's the what-if game.
Yes.
You never know. Yeah. But I'm okay with I'm okay with – sorry. I'm looking at the chat room. With Rocky Long and, like I said, the way the program's going,
right.
I mean, obviously I'd like to see it move further along, just like every other Aztec football fan. But – like I said, it's going the right direction.
Right.
Let's just turn our attention over to Aztec basketball.
Yes. Aztec basketball?
Yes.
They have a basketball program?
They have a basketball program?
Holy cow.
It's little,
first year?
It's this little, startup thing they did a couple years ago.
Right on, man. That's great.
No.
Well, so really quick before you jump into that, I want to give a shout out to Darren Anthony. He says, "Hey guys, thank you so much, but unfortunately I am a reserve in the Army, and I have duty this weekend, and I would feel so wrong selling these tickets. Can you give them to Supercharged?" And first and foremost, I want to say thank you for doing your due diligence in the Army. We really, really appreciate that.
My daughter's actually in the Army Reserve as well.
And Supercharged would absolutely love the fact that we can give them those Aztec tickets.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you for your services. That's dedication on your part, and we appreciate fans like you even just chiming in, giving us your free time. So appreciate that, man. And thanks for giving them up, too. That's awesome of you.
Absolutely. So back to Aztecs basketball. Obviously, the first week, I should say, of November, we get back in action.
Mike's starting to shake a little bit. The closer we get,
right?
He's just starting to shake like a little kid who's had way too much sugar.
I think there's nothing better for Mike and fans, all of us, when your football team's doing well. Imagine if the Padres could ever get to a postseason. That was back in 1983. When you have a team rolling in the NFL and your team, the Chargers, and in your Aztec basketball teams, nationally ranked year in, year out, the feeling that it gives you, and just in sports in general, we have something we wake up every morning looking forward to. And the good thing about Aztec basketball, it's all through the week. We get a game sometimes on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, sometimes on Saturday. It's just all over the place. So it kind of makes the week go by a little better, and you get more up for these types of weeks.
Yeah. So big news came out yesterday. The Mountain West preseason poll was released. Our Aztecs were, of course, number one.
Yes, sir.
Ho-hum, whatever.
Oh, just number one.
Just number one.
Just number one.
Unfortunately,
big yawner.
They weren't unanimous. Some jerk decided to vote Boise State for some apparent reason. I don't know what that was about. But
I told Josh about that, too. The 35th voter that voted against the Aztecs actually picked them third, and last year he picked them first and to finish in the Elite Eight. So go figure that.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Do we know who that is?
No, I don't. I heard it on the radio, though.
Okay.
Some guy close to the situation.
Yeah, so
34 out of 35 first-place votes, an overwhelming 383 points, where Boise was at like 226.
That's a big load of votes.
That's a huge load.
We're still on that.
So Boise follows up in second, then New Mexico, UNLV, and Colorado State to round out the top five. What's exciting about this team is, like we were kind of alluding to before the show, is, we are always so concerned about who's going to, step up and, fill the role of the, point guard. Who's going to put the points up on the board and carry this offense, this year, more than any year, I'm not that concerned. I mean, you have Dwayne Poley, who stepped up huge, 6th man of the year, should have been a starter. I mean, he steps up huge. You have Winston Shepard, who can score a lot of points. You got J.J. O'Brien, who does well in the paint, but then you got is it Trey Kell?
You got Trey Kell coming in. You got Kevin Szabo coming in, freshman. You have a lot of our favorite word, plethora of players.
Plethora.
We've replenished well. You've got down low. You've got the Malik Popes of the world that we're waiting on the Zylan Cheatham injury to get better. There's a lot of upside with this team. We know we're going to recharge and replenish the stock every year like we do. And like you said, we shouldn't be so concerned with the scoring because we touched on that before the show a little bit.
Yeah.
We've always worried about that. I think we can take a sigh of relief now and kind of go, everything's going to be just fine. The scoring will happen.
Yeah.
We just don't know where it's going to come from yet.
Exactly, and a lot of people are freaking out. And like I told you guys before, and I wrote in today's article, I put a rapid reaction to the releasing of the polls. And what I said was, when we had the 35-2 team or whatever with Kawhi, Malcolm,
33 and
3.
33 and 3, yeah.
When we had those guys here, everybody was worried. Oh, Kawhi's going to NBA. Billy White are graduating.
DJ
what are we going to
Gay's
do?
Gone. Yeah,
and what did we do? Jamal Franklin stepped up. Chase Tapley stepped up. We won the conference championship.
Teach me how to Tapley.
And then we got to the dance again. Mm-hmm. Then the fall. 2 years later, or last year. Yeah, last year we're like, Tapley's gone, Rayhan's gone,
what are we gonna do?
Jamal Franklin's gone. That's over 60% of the offense is gone. Where's it going to come from? And
and now
Xavier Thames steps up.
Yeah.
And everybody's freaking out. Xavier Thames gone. Josh Davis gone. Man, I've seen this video before.
Right.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Just wait till the end.
Yeah.
This winter at Viejas Arena. Catch the fearsome fivesome.
So a couple things I want to shout out. Yes, SoCal Trav, we are taking calls 619-866-4567. So feel free to chime in, whether it's Chargers, Aztecs, Padres, if you want to talk Padres.
Some killer Padre baseball right now, dog. I'm fired up. Hit my line from East Coast to the West Coast.
I want to shout out Dwayne Poley and Winston Shepard, both voted preseason All Mountain West team, making SU the only team to garner 2 players on the 5-man squad. But the thing that I'm excited about mainly, there's a lot of talent coming in. We have a top 10 recruiting class coming in this year, along with the Dwayne Poleys, the Winston Shepards of the world, J.J. O'Brien. Angelo Chol is who I was getting to,
yes.
Named newcomer of the year. I'm excited because I haven't seen a whole lot of film on this guy, but I hear just immense amount of hype when it comes around Angelo Chol just dominating in the paint, being a huge, defender. I think Justin alluded to him being the number one shot blocker
as a freshman
in Arizona, and we already have Spence in that role. Yeah. So to have these twin towers in the paint, I'm really, really excited to see this Aztec team, and I think we can match up against anybody, whether it's scoring or length.
The guy I'm most excited to see is Malik Pope. And I've said this from when I saw his mixtape, and it's from his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And
because he hasn't played in a while.
And I don't get excited about mixtapes. It's a guy dunking breakaway dunks or laying it up or taking a jump shot. I don't get excited. But when you see a guy that's 6'9", 6'10", pulling up for three, cutting through the lane, laying it up, dunking on guys. I mean, he reminds me of Kevin Durant in his freshman year at Texas. That's what I think the ceiling of his is. And if he is ahead of schedule in his recovery and he plays this season, then this may be the only season you see him at San Diego State.
Guys, for those of you listening in the chat room right now, and obviously you guys are diehard Charger fans, I challenge you to go to Viejas Arena this year and watch this Aztecs basketball. Do we have a call?
Yeah, SoCal Trav is on the line.
SoCal Trav, what's up, my brother?
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude? What are you doing? Smoking a ball?
No, I'm actually watching the Giants and Cardinals game.
Oh, dude, they're playing? Oh, that baseball is over.
You say the Giants?
Dude, baseball for San Diego fans was over like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know what baseball is.
So what do you think is going to happen this week for the Chargers? What do you think is going to happen against the Chiefs this weekend, Travis?
Well, obviously we're going to be throwing up some W's again, for sure.
Dubs.
Spin-a-Rooney, of course. Hashtag Spin-a-Rooney.
Hashtag Whiplash.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, the Whiplash that's going to be the new trending hashtag for Chargers fans. Hashtag Whiplash. It's the Jarrett Johnson snap your neck Geno Smith Whiplash hashtag.
I could watch that play over and over again.
Yes.
See, the Chargers' defense has laid some wood, for lack of terms. I mean, Weddle, completely decleated that guy.
Yeah.
Then you got Jarrett Johnson. This defense is really playing stout for about 98% of this season.
It's solid, man. It's very, very, very solid. I love every minute of it. The only thing I'm concerned about this weekend's game is that Fat Andy is 14-2 after a bye week.
That doesn't concern me. He'll have so many jelly donuts that he'll fall asleep during the play calling.
Well, I'm gonna ship some Dunkin' Donuts because there's a new one open now down here. I'm gonna ship a dozen to his hotel room and tell him to hang out and snack on some D&Ds.
Yeah.
Hey, Trav, I know you bring that he's 14-2, but isn't he like 2-2 in his last 4 or 1-2 in his last 3? Haven't those 2 losses been recent? Because I could have sworn he was like 13-0 before he lost.
Yeah, he's lost. Yeah, he's lost I think last year he lost his for his bye week and the year before, so he's lost like 2 in a row. So.
Right.
But it's all good though. I'm not worried about that guy.
Are you worried about Jamal Charles in any way?
I am, because I don't know if our rush defense can stop him as well as we hope that they can. I know we can, but it's going to take an effort to stop him. No offense. I hate the Chiefs, but I think he's one of the best guys on the ground in the game today, and he's tough to bring down. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year. It takes like 4 or 5 guys to get his ass on the ground.
Where has our weakness been? Last week we saw we couldn't stop the run game. The weeks before we had trouble covering the running back in space. If you have those 2 mistakes against Jamal Charles, I mean, the Chargers are going to have a hard time winning that game if they can't cover Jamal Charles throughout the entire game.
Right, but you can't win the game completely on the ground, and eventually he's going to be gasping for air.
Right.
He can't run 4 quarters on the ground nonstop and do it all, because eventually he's going to be gassed out. Right. So they are going to have to go to the air game eventually, and our pass defense is top notch, second to none. It kicks ass.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, they can still spell in Niles Davis, who's done really well.
Yeah, I'm more worried about him, actually.
I think it's more the offensive line, period, than it is each player themselves.
Yeah.
It's not like any of their wide receivers scare me. Dwayne Bowe's a garbage. Donnie Avery's out. for me, Travis Kelce is an up-and-coming tight end, but we've done a very good job on tight ends this year. So it doesn't it doesn't concern me as much as their pass game doesn't concern me as much. But yes, I agree with you. We got to contain Charles because he's a one-hitter quitter, and he can take it to the rack every time.
Well, if we just get a whiplash or or a little drilled on him or something, he could definitely be out. I would love to see his helmet fly off.
Trav, as always, what we're gonna ask you for before we let you go here. Who is a standout and a prediction? Yes.
Well, a standout and a prediction?
Yes, sir.
Actually, my standout this week is going to be Jarrett Johnson. I think he's going to step up this week and have another phenomenal game.
Alex Smith sandwich.
So on defense, it's definitely going to be Jarrett Johnson. I think he's going to have a phenomenal game this week. I think the way everything's set up to play the Chiefs, I think this will be his breakout game of the season. As far as the score goes, I don't think it's going to be extremely high this week. I'm thinking more like probably 27-14 Chargers.
Okay. So a good little comfortable win there. Not too
put it in cruise control.
Not too close.
On
not
my
too
way
far,
to the
though.
beach.
Not a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, Travis.
No blowout. I just think that I know we always play. We always struggle against the 0-5 nation up in Oakland. But
nation.
But I think that it's a division game. Division games are always tough, no matter how crappy the other team is. It's always a tough game. So I think 27-14 is what I'm looking at for this week.
SoCal Trav, this is Josh, and I have to say the Chargers are going to score more than Wilt Chamberlain did with the ladies this weekend.
Wow. Would you look that up online?
You're a sick.
I think
that was quite the delivery there, Josh.
I think he will score more times than Wilt Chamberlain. Hashtag Spinneroonie.
Thanks, Trav, for giving us a call. Like always, thanks for listening, man. We appreciate it. And of course, shout out to the @DieHard Bolt Club on Twitter.
Yes, and it's the only club on Twitter that the famous LT follows. It's a great thing.
That's right. That's right.
It is a great thing. Trav, thanks for calling in, brother.
All right, see you guys this weekend.
Later, buddy.
All right, guys, so that opens up our phone line, 619-866-4567.
From the Imperial Valleys.
Call
to the Canadian Rockies.
The southern borders of Mexico.
Really quick, Tony Rowe here in the chat room says his prediction is 23 to 21.
I actually like that one. That's closer to what I was.
He also mentioned a little while back in here that he's going to be there for the Patriots Sunday night game on December 9th. Him and some of his Border Patrol buddies are coming out for that weekend, so we might have to try to put a show together in the parking lot and have them on as part of the show.
Yeah, and then just also adding on Big Smiley 619 here in the chat room, 2810 San Diego.
Got a boy, Big Smiley.
All right. Nice. So I like that one.
Getting back to a little Aztec basketball real quick.
We're back up there.
I just wanted to give you a guy that I'm going to watch this year. We're not going to go into in-depth stuff. We'll save that for upcoming shows. A guy I'm really, really interested in seeing this year. I think he's going to make a phantom leap. Is Matt Shrigley.
I was about to say
Shrigley.
Man,
you guys were big on him last year, and he
delivered in certain games.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's here and there. He gave you a preview that he could take over a game. Now he needs to do it against better competition. He didn't show up in some of the bigger games, which I'd like to see. I think in the long run, he can rival a Doug McDermott type of shooter. And I know that's saying a lot because Doug McDermott set NCAA records. I don't think he's going to break those records, but I think he's going to be a guy late in ball games that we need out there to hit big shots in big time games.
Like a 15 points in the last 12 minutes?
Yes.
We got another call on the line. This is the San Diego Sports Junkies. Who do we got on the line?
Hey, what's up? It's Portland Bolt fan, Brandon.
Oh, hey,
what up? All the way from Potland.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? What's going
on, man? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, love the show, fellas. I'm a new listener. I've heard just a few of the episodes, but loving it, and I'm definitely going to stick around.
Thanks, man.
I wanted to tell you guys about the preseason game in Seattle. That's something I thought was pretty funny.
Okay.
I'm from San Diego. I've only lived up here about a year, a little over a year. So I went to the Seattle game, and they have on their jumbo screen a city comparison between Seattle and San Diego. And it was funny because they would show, like, some beautiful place from Seattle, and then they would show some dump of a place from San Diego. And it was like the crowd would clap for the Seattle part and then boo for the San Diego part. And I thought it was hilarious because I had never been to a visitor, a game at another stadium. So to see it from the other fan perspective, I thought that was pretty funny.
That's funny. They're probably showing downtown Seattle, the mountains, and they go, Logan Heights.
Yes.
Hillcrest. Exactly. Like, they would show, like, they showed Torrey Pines Golf Course, but they didn't even show, like, the beach in the background, nothing. It was just like a tree.
Yeah. That's kind of like this weekend when we're playing the Raiders and they're showing, like, San Francisco.
Yeah, they're showing San Francisco on the TV.
Saying how beautiful it is over here. Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
I thought that was pretty funny. But the noise in that place, I mean, we went to a preseason game. It was week 3. I was pumped because I thought we would actually play some starters, for a while. But we, you remember how we played that game.
We remember.
It was so loud there. It was so wild. Like, even late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, when you're talking third, fourth stringers that aren't even going to make the team. I mean, those people were insane. I mean, you can't take away the value of a crowd like that. And man, I came home like kind of feeling such bittersweetness, wishing the Chargers had that kind of support and that kind of fan base. It's just insane.
Yeah, I've actually been to Seattle once. And that city, man, they embrace their sports. I was actually on my way to the train station to Vancouver, and I happened to catch the walk for the Sounders game where everybody's walking down, in Seattle all the way to the stadium. They love their sports up there, man. That's crazy. I can't believe how into, especially.
They love coffee too.
Yeah. But I just
and grunge music
and umbrellas.
Yeah.
And skydiving.
But yeah, I mean that's probably something that sports fans should go and go and experience.
Yeah.
How do they treat you up there with your Charger gear on?
How's the what?
How do they treat you up there with your Charger gear on?
Oh, it's cool. I mean, I get looks like, what the hell is there a Charger fan? But there's actually surprisingly a good amount of Charger fans here. There's a bar in the southeast part of Portland that gets a dozen to maybe 20 Chargers fans every week.
Nice. You got to up the number.
See a lot of bolts. You see some bolts on the cars, like here and there. I didn't really go out to watch the games. I had DirecTV last year, but this year there's too many trees, so I had to just get regular cable.
Cut them down, bro. Get a chainsaw.
Yeah, totally. But other than that, it's been cool, man. People up here are real nice. It's not as competitive, and people kind of don't stand off with you the same way people in California do. Everybody here is a little more small town, even though it's still a big city,
Right. What are you looking for in this week's game, and what's a final score? What's a prediction you got for this week against the Chiefs?
I'm actually hoping Corey Liuget jumps back. I mean, remember in the preseason, he was just standing out as just a dominant. I mean, nobody could block him.
Animal, yeah.
And then he's kind of. I mean, I know he's been getting double teamed, and I know Lions have been doing certain things to take our rush away. But I just kind of want to get him back in the fall. I want to see him, get a sack maybe or a couple big tackles for a loss.
Right.
And I'm expecting a close game, maybe 31-28. I'm expecting a close game.
Yeah.
But I think we could score on him.
Well, what's your prediction on that? You got a
31-28.
Oh, you said 31-28.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah,
Justin was smoking the reefer, so he wasn't quite paying
smoking
attention.
the ganj over here, trying to take a hit.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think it's going to be a relative. I mean, 31-28 to me seems like a high-scoring game, so it's going to be a relatively high-scoring game and a close game. I'm going to give my prediction score Sunday morning. You got to make sure you listen to us Sunday between 9 and 10.
Well,
we're doing the pregame show.
One of the biggest reasons, I mean, obviously you guys love our show, but we're giving away the Kendall Reyes signed football Sunday during the show.
Sunday morning, you got to participate.
It's your last opportunity to get your name in that hat before we draw it towards the end of that show. So, we appreciate all you guys in the chat room. All of you guys are going to have another little ticket in the cooler, in Mikey's old cooler from Cali Comfort.
Fishbowl.
So thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah, keep plugging us, man. And
my call, man.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out in the chat room, bro. We appreciate it.
Oh, so I'll be around.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks.
All right, later.
Really quick, guys, I want to just shout out a couple more score predictions from the chat room. Jeez, I lost them now. So we got, okay. Darren Anthony in the chat room said 24-17 Bolts.
The Raider hater.
Supercharged said 24-21 Bolts, and I think I said big smileys, but I'll say it again, 28-10 Bolts.
The Raider hater has got another raffle ticket. He just joined the chat room.
The Raider hater. This summer, action packed.
Tony wants to know if we need his address because that football's coming to Arizona.
Yes, we will ask for it when you win, quote unquote.
Absolutely.
I'm rolling my eyes and doing air quotes here.
So guys, I want to thank you guys all for chiming in the chat room, in Twitter. Geppetto, we don't want to forget about you over there in Twitterland. One of these days we'll get you in the chat room as well. We want to thank all you guys. This is all about you. From the articles, which you can go to our blog. Post an article. If you have something to say, feel free to post that article. Michael will edit it and make you sound like a hero.
Or comment on one that's up there and tell us why we're wrong or why we're right.
Yeah, this isn't a platform for you guys to speak your mind. It only takes 12 to 24 hours to post. We'll send it to Mikey. He'll look it over and post it on our website. We'll put your credentials on there, your Twitter handle, and all that good stuff. And it's a forum for you, and it's a platform for you for Charger fans. It's show for fans
by the fans.
Exactly, and that's what we do. We cater to you guys. We're just fans like you. So please go to the website, comment on it, make it your forum for all San Diego sports. This is where we all interact as fans and make sure that our passions are heard, and anybody can go to our website and read it, and it's always on Twitter.
And there's going to be a couple more articles coming out in the next couple days, guys. So there's currently 6 right now you can comment on if you haven't already. That's 6 entries into the Kendall Reyes sweepstakes. We've got a couple more articles coming up in the next couple days. So guys, as always, we want to thank you for joining our show. This is all about you guys. We're a show for fans.
By the fans.
This is San Diego Sports Junkies, and we are out, gentlemen.
Kiss. And if we talking Aztecs, we talking. Okay, we do it, we run it. Get buckets, who want it? Test back in this thing. Last time for my team. MVP is back. Call him J. Frank. Don't forget C-Tap. 3 rings straight, okay. Rayhan's like flame on from Trey Ball. Yeah, we ball from the ball boy to the band boy. It's packed out, so stand, boy. Yeah. Tech thing. X things with a crossover like your fans at our game. That's a headache like a hangover. Matt puts his arm in the rim. Sky's gonna block you again. Chances to win here are slim. No tugs and it's no love. Bring your A game and don't show one as
Thank you for listening to the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans, by the fans. Brought to you by Cali Comfort, home of the Low and Slow Barbecue, and SK Digital Imaging, with Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, Jason Eidsmo, and Mike Maciejewski. Subscribe to us on iHeartRadio, on Spreaker, and on iTunes. Visit SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com for all your Chargers, Padres, and Aztecs news.